This is the second video for assignment 1, and we're going to be using Google Earth, specifically historical imagery within Google Earth, to describe and understand a particular location on the Earth that has undergone either climate change or some type of human disaster or intervention. And the change across time we should be able to understand within the historical imagery for that site. So we're going to use latitude and longitude like we did in the first part of the assignment 1, but we're going to use it to a different effect. So to get started, we need to make sure that we have latitude and longitude within our status bar in the lower right hand corner. And I'm doing this on a Mac, and I was on a PC for part 1. So in a Mac, if you want to make changes to some of your tools, you need to go to Preferences as opposed to Tools. So I'm going to click on Preferences. And I just need to make sure that I'm clicked on, once again, decimal degrees as opposed to degrees, minutes, and seconds. We did this before in part 1. So I say OK, and I'm all set for that for my status bar. It shows lat long in decimal degrees now. I also need to get a sidebar in, so I'm going to go to View and click on the sidebar. And there we go. We're going to need this search window at the top this time. In your assignment, under Course Management, there will be a text file, simple text file, and it's going to have these lat-long coordinate pairs. And after each one of the pairs, it's going to have what's called a height view or an aerial view, and I'll explain that in a second. Also, the coordinate pairs. Here's the coordinate pair right here. It's the number, comma, another number. And the way that it exports in KML form, which is what we're looking at here, where you see coordinates bounded by coordinates, what happens is the latitude and the longitude gets flipped. So when we're viewing here, we're seeing lat first and long second. When it's actually exported to a KML, it's flipped around. So long is first and lat is second. So when we search, we've got to make sure that we're searching correctly. So I'm going to use the lower ninth ward from Hurricane Katrina as the example for the tutorial. And here's its latitude and longitude pair in correct order. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to pop it into my search window. You'll do the exact same thing. And what it's going to do, Google Earth, is it's going to point to that place mark. And if we scale out just a little bit, we can see this is the ninth ward and the all the infrastructure around Hurricane Katrina that broke. So one of the really traumatic breaks was right along this levee here, and there's a bridge that's taking place right here, and then there's the levee that spills in. So and our latitude to start is 29.975, comma, longitude minus 90. Now let's take a look at what it looks like in KML, which is the form that you're going to have in the text document. So if I click on copy as KML, and then I'll just copy this into this little text file here. We can see that the name is latitude first and longitude. But in the coordinate pair, which is what you're working with, we can see that it flips it. So here we have longitude first for the point and latitude. So when you do your search, you just need to make sure that you grab the last coordinate, not the 0. There's a comma. If there's a 0 here, don't copy that in. So it's going to be this one. That would be the first one, 29, and then it's comma. And then you're going to copy the first pair, which is longitude. So now you're lat long, and then if I put this into Google Earth and search it, it's going to bring me to that same point. Oh, no, it didn't do it that time. It got messed up there somehow. So let me get tracked back in here correctly. So let's just go back to what I had. You shouldn't run into this problem, I don't think, because I'm pretty sure I have the coordinate pairs correct. Okay. All right. So we're at the lower ninth ward, and we can see in the status bar in the lower right hand corner we have an I altitude. That's that number that's in the text document that is located right here. 340 miles, 8,000 feet. These are approximations about where I think that you should look at the imagery. So for lower ninth ward, to really see what's going on, I need to be pretty close, because what I really want to do is I want to see all this land as the levee actually broke within Google Historical Imagery. Okay, so my eye level here would be right about 8,000 feet or so, or maybe 9,000. Yeah, 8,000, probably pretty good. Now, as you scroll in, especially as you get closer, you'll see you get what's called a tilt. And if you don't want that tilt, you can go to View and reset the tilt. So you go down View, Reset, and Tilt, and it'll bring it back to more of a traditional map view. So let's scale out here, View, Reset the Tilt. That's what I want. Now what I need to do is, under my view, I need to also see historical imagery. So to do that, I want to bring up the toolbar, View toolbar, and our historical imagery will be this clock icon here. So Show Historical Imagery. And as soon as I do that, it gives me a little time slider here, and this is what we're going to utilize to understand this particular location in terms of its event. So if we remember correctly, let's see, let's do a quick search of Hurricane Katrina. It was, I remember it was August, I'm just forgetting the year. So it's August 2005. So this will be the moment right before August 2005. We should have, quote, a normal imagery, and then right after 2005, August 28th, we should see our damage. Okay, so we're going to, remember, we're all in vector at this point. We're not all in raster, not vector. So everything that we're looking at is a raster format in Google Imagery. So let's zoom back to early, so 2000. So this is what it looked like in 2000. We can see all the homes in the lower ninth ward are pretty well organized in a grid format. This area right here, that might be a school or some type of facility. It's sitting within the grid, and it looks like it's pretty well organized. Now let's scroll ahead right before 2005. So this is 4/17/2005, and sometimes you'll see these splits right down the middle. This is where one tile, imagery tile, is segueing into another tile within Google Earth. What I can do is I can just I can push it forward a little bit with these little toggle buttons on the far right and far left. So here's 2006, 11/29. Let's see, let's get right. Okay, so here we go. So let's zoom in now to this area, and my eye altitude now is right about 3,000 feet. So I'm going to go to View, Reset the Tilt, so I can see it flat. So here, this is 10/18/2005. So we can see all these houses have been uprooted and pulled off the grid from the damage. Let's see if we can push back just 9/7/2005. Here we can see things that are absolutely underwater. And let's toggle back just one little. Okay, here we can really see the water coming in. 8:30. You can see here's where the levee actually took a big break right here, and it overflowed right through the top section also. So we can see everything's completely underwater at this point. So let's forward a little bit. So by 2006, the next year, it looks like some of the houses have been removed, and we can see green is coming back in, to the open spaces. Let's go into 2010. 2010, and actually let's just look at it right now. So this is 2013. This is as far as we can go in terms of the imagery. And we can see this facility has completely been removed. It looks like there's still a lot of empty vacant parcels, but it looks like some of these buildings that made it through, they look pretty well organized. and relatively stable, and we can see that all this work along the canal has been reworked, these levees. So this is in Google Historical Imagery we can see the progression from that terrible event into some reparation and cleanup that's taken place over time. And so for your paper, if you were to do the lower ninth ward, which I don't think I have as a coordinate pair, you basically you would describe the changes that you're seeing within the historical imagery. So you might say something like, before August 28, 2005, here's what the imagery looks like. And then right after the event, here's the difference. And then you might describe the process of change over time to where it is now today. And you might want to give some context about the event, what it is regionally, maybe how it's affected the larger region. Remember, it's a half page to 3/4 page, so it's not a huge essay or anything, but it's giving some type of quantitative and qualitative understanding of the historical imagery using the latitude-longitude pair as the location, and then you need to find out, once you get to that location, what's actually taking place in the historical imagery that you see. Okay, I hope this helps to get you started on the second part of the assignment, and once again, good luck.